Some dogs are loved for their intelligence, others for their loyalty. But my dog is remembered by the whole neighborhood for two unmistakable characteristics: an incredibly gluttonous appetite and an exceptional rat-catching ability that strikes fear into the hearts of the rats. Every morning, as soon as he hears the sound of his rice bowl hitting the floor, he rushes in from the yard like a whirlwind. His tail wags incessantly, his eyes gleaming as he stares intently at his meal as if he's been starving for a week. If anyone holds a piece of meat, a biscuit, or even a small bone in their hand, he immediately follows, clinging to it. Sometimes the whole family bursts out laughing at his adorable expression. One day, after finishing his own portion, he even ran over to the cat's bowl with a hopeful look, waiting for it to leave even a little bit of food behind so he could clean it up. Despite his gluttony, what everyone admires most is his rat-catching talent. During the day, he could lie sprawled on the porch, dozing off peacefully, looking no different from a lazy dog. But at the slightest sound in the kitchen or the gnawing of mice at night, his ears would perk up. He would stand up, walk softly, and intently observe every nook and cranny. The mice were naturally quick and cunning, but they could hardly escape the dog's patience. He could sit still for dozens of minutes, just waiting for a mouse to poke its head out. And when the opportunity arose, he would pounce with incredible speed, giving the mouse no time to react. In just a moment, the troublemaker was caught. Thanks to him, the granary, sacks of rice, and other food in the house were no longer gnawed by mice. The neighbors were all surprised that a dog could catch mice so well. Some even joked that he worked harder than a cat. Every time he caught a mouse, the whole family would pat his head, praise him, and reward him with a delicious piece of meat. Perhaps that was the reward he looked forward to the most. Interestingly, despite his gluttony, he never fought or bit anyone to get food. He would just sit in front of his owner, his round eyes full of hope, his tail wagging continuously as if begging for another portion. His adorable nature made it impossible for anyone to refuse him. But after eating his fill, he would continue his role as a guardian of the house, patrolling the yard and listening for every little sound. On rainy nights, when everyone else was asleep, he would quietly wander around the kitchen and storage room. If he spotted a mouse, he would patiently stalk it until he caught it. This diligence wasn't because he was ordered to, but seemed to have become his instinct and habit. For many people, a gluttonous dog might be considered normal. But for my family, he's not just a pet, but a loyal friend, a silent warrior protecting our home from rats. Every day, he brings laughter with his adorable appetite and reassures everyone by always doing his job well. Someone once said that the value of an animal lies not in its appearance or expensive breed, but in its affection and the quiet things it does for its family. My dog is the clearest proof of that. He's not a rare breed, nor is he raised on luxurious meals. What makes everyone love him is his loyal heart, his devotion, and the small things he quietly does every day. Everyone knows he's very greedy. Just hearing the sound of a pot lid being opened or a bowl of rice being placed down, he'll run over with his tail wagging incessantly. His round eyes look at his owner hopefully, as if saying, "Give me another bite, please." Many people laugh when they see him, teasing him that he only thinks about food. But no one knows that after each hearty meal, he starts his work without ever complaining. When night falls and the whole family is asleep, he quietly walks around the yard, the kitchen and the granary. He listened to the slightest sound. The mere sound of a mouse gnawing at a sack of rice or scurrying across the roof would instantly alert him. His gentle eyes, usually so mild during the day, would become sharp, and his footsteps would be as light as those of a seasoned hunter. Some nights he would patiently sit for hours, waiting for a mouse to appear. He never gave up, never rushed. When the opportunity arose, he would dart about like lightning and catch the mouse before it could escape. Thanks to him, the family's sacks of rice and food were always kept safe and sound. The neighbors often joked that my family didn't need a cat. This dog was enough. They only saw him catching mice. But they didn't see the cold. Rainy nights he silently stood guard. Nor did anyone know that one day he was bitten on the nose. Yet the next morning he happily followed his owner, clinging to him as if he hadn't been hurt at all. What touched me most was that despite his gluttony, he never let food overshadow his responsibilities. Once, while enjoying a delicious bone, he heard a mouse scurrying in the kitchen corner and immediately abandoned his meal to rush off. Only when he was sure the mouse had stopped its mischief did he return to pick up the now cold bone. Perhaps for him, protecting the home was always more important than his favorite food. As time passed, he grew older, His fur was no longer as glossy as before, and his steps were slower. He wasn't as quick as he used to be when he ran. But what never changed was his habit of patrolling every night. Despite his exhaustion, he still tried to check every little corner of the house, as if it were a lifelong commitment. Sometimes I would sit and stroke his now silver-feathered fur, suddenly realizing that our four-legged friends never ask for anything too much. All they need is a roof over their heads, a satisfying meal, and a loving pat on the head. In return, they dedicate their short lives to humans with unwavering loyalty. Some friends come and go with the years, but there are also friends who quietly stay by our side for a lifetime, without promises or flowery words. My dog is one such friend. When he was brought home, he was just a tiny ball of fluff, his eyes still bewildered by everything around him. No one imagined that this little creature would later become the loyal protector of our family. He grew up with simple meals, the laughter of everyone, and afternoons spent running around the yard. He was known for his love of food. Just hearing the sound of pots and pans or smelling food, he would run quickly to his owner, his eyes sparkling and his tail wagging constantly. Every time he was given a piece of meat or a bone, he would be overjoyed as if he had received the most precious gift in the world. Seeing him like that, everyone would laugh. But for him, happiness was simply being well-fed and being with the people he loved. Perhaps out of gratitude for those meals, he always tried his best to protect the house. Every night after the whole family had fallen asleep, he would quietly wander around the yard, the kitchen, and every little corner. As soon as he heard the sound of mice gnawing at the rice sacks or scurrying on the roof, he would immediately get up. He patiently stalked each mouse, never giving up until he caught them. Thanks to him, the mice stopped causing trouble, and the family's rice sacks and food were always carefully preserved. What touched me most was that he never asked for anything other than a little love. Whether it was scorching hot or pouring cold, he would lie in front of the gate waiting for his owner to return. As soon as he heard the familiar sound of the car from the end of the lane, he would happily run out to greet it. His tail wagged incessantly, his eyes shining with joy as if he had waited all day just to see the person he loved. Once I was away for many days. When I returned, he didn't rush to beg for food as usual. He just ran over, pressed his head against my leg, whimpered softly a few times, and then lay still beside me. At that moment, I suddenly realized that what he missed wasn't delicious food, but the presence of his family. Time spares no one, not even our four-legged friends. He's starting to age, his steps are slower, his fur is streaked with gray, and his eyes are no longer as sharp as before. Yet every evening he still tries to get up and walk around the house. Perhaps he wants to make sure everyone is safe before he can rest peacefully. Many people think dogs only know how to eat, bark, and guard the house. But to me, he also knows how to love. He knows how to share in the joy when the family laughs and talks, knows how to quietly sit beside someone when they're sad, knows how to run and gently lick my hand, as a comforting gesture without needing any words.